We should be live, but I forgot to turn the mic on. Now we should be live and everything should be working. We should have sound. We should have video. Hello. We should be live, but I forgot to turn the mic on. Just a little bit of housekeeping in the chat before we get going. Please let me know if you can see me and hear me okay. The cat's purring loudly, yeah, okay, yeah. He has a very loud purr. Actually, usually I have one of these little lavalier mics here, and it's even worse if I've got one of those, but I've got a mic set up just here now. Let's say hi to everyone. My herbal assistant. Hi Romy. Hello Olaf. Just in one ear? Oh. That's a little odd. I'm not sure if I can do anything about that right now this second. I think I might know why, but I'm not sure I can fix it now I've started streaming. So I'm afraid we're just gonna have to manage with the audio on one side today. Sorry about that. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's an easy thing for me to change right off the bat. Gina says all good. Hi Gina, nice to see you. Hi Naomi. Please let me know if you can hear me and see me okay. Guys, stop purring, okay? Not helping. A bubbly purring sound. I think it might be him. Or I wonder if the mic has a problem. Hang on just a second, I'm just going to try something with the mic. Yeah, I can see it. I think we might have a... You pop down a minute. He's... The purring is probably not the cat. I'm going to mute just for a second while I see if I can sort this out. I really don't know. It's like there's a feedback loop on or something. I'm not sure what it is. Are you still getting that? The mic is still purring. It's not the cat. Yeah, Romy, it looks like I've got a bit of a problem with the mic. I'm just wondering what else we might try to get around it. Okay, I'm going to leave it on for a second, but bear with me. I'm going to try swapping over something and see if that will work. Sorry about this. I seem to be plagued by technical hitches lately. It's still bubbling, isn't it? It's still doing the funny bubbly sound. I'm going to try and switch to another mic. Unfortunately, it means it was fine when I tested it before, but it does mean I'm going to have to just spend a couple of minutes setting this up. Yeah, I think it's a problem with the mic. The mic is behaving the mic is behaving badly. So I'm going to try changing to this mic. And let's see if this helps. Sorry, I'm just trying to set up a few things here so we're not distorting. We should hopefully not be bubbling. I think I've got that right. I think it's set up right. Have you got sound now? Just 2 seconds. Okay. A little bit. Sorry, I'm having to check the levels of the mic on the fly because I've changed my. It should be better now. I'm just coming through this mic and I've switched the other one off. That can get out of the way. I'm sorry about that. Yes, it's good quality, Kay says. Marilyn says it's good. All good. Okay. I'm sorry. Always with the technical problems. Live TV, it's all happening. We should. I'm just trying to rearrange these cables a bit so everything's not going to fall over in the middle of things. Right, sorry about that. I do believe we're now set up and running. The complicated bit for me is making sure that you still get sound when I go onto a screen share, which obviously on the webinar ones we do quite a lot of. So let me get started. Today, I'm going to demonstrate some plugin stuff for you. Now, plugins are for WordPress sites. It's like the heart of a WordPress site. It's what makes everything work. So if you've got to a point at the moment with the training we've had so far, where you've got your site set up and basically running, you want to start adding some functionality, and quite a few of you have either emailed or posted in the Threads group about stuff you'd like to add. The most popular one of these is a gallery. So I'm going to go through with you a couple of ways that you can add a gallery to the site, of either a very simple way and a slightly more complex way. And I'm going to go through a couple of plugins that you can use. One of them I've never used before, so I'm going to demonstrate it by installing it and showing you how it works, and you'll get to see me figure out how to work it, so it will give you a good idea of how complicated it is to set up if you've never used it before. Because the thing is, when you do demonstrations of this stuff, it's always kind of like you know, people will tend to prepare stuff, and I do it sometimes too. So you can say, and this is how you do this, and this is how you do that. And then the experience that you get when you try and do that yourself is entirely different, because you're more like, where is this thing? Where's this feature? How do I find this? How do I get it running? So I'm going to show you one that I already use, which it works pretty well. Unfortunately, the one I use for the gallery on my paintings page no longer seems to work properly with WordPress when you install it. So I can't show you that one, but I'll show you another one that I use on my site. I'll show you how to set up a default gallery in WordPress, because you may not know this, but WordPress actually comes out of the box with a possibility for you to set up galleries. And then we're going to try a plugin called Enviro, which is a good one. Yeah, sorry about that. Whoever that is who just said you've only got sound in one ear. I don't think I can do anything about that right now. So you'll just have to put up with me just being in one ear for the moment. You must be presumably listening on headphones. Many apologies. I'm afraid I can't really do anything to change it immediately. But at least you can hear me, which is better than nothing. So the first thing I want to go through with you, I think really the best place to start is I want to show you how to install plugins on a site. So we'll go through the Threads demonstration site as we normally do. I'll just pop look. I've got the site up somewhere. Where is it? I'll just pop the URL in so that you can, if you want to, you can follow through what I'm doing, and you can watch it happening on the site. So I'll pop that's the URL I've just put in the chat there of the demonstration site. Okay, Naomi, yeah, you do that. I'll be covering a couple of other ones as well for other things, so you might want to still come back and watch later, but we probably will be spending quite a bit of time on putting a gallery in. But yeah, painting always comes first, right? But check the replay when it comes out so you can see some of the other stuff I'll be covering. I know, Big Lat, I know you want to come up. So I'm going to go straight through to, we'll put a screen share on. So hopefully you should be seeing my screen now. And this is the Threads demonstration site. So this was a fresh install of WordPress on a new hosting account that I'm using to demonstrate everything that I want to show you how to do on site. So we've got all of the basic stuff here. We've got a basic theme installed. We've got a post. We've got a bunch of stuff down the side which probably needs editing out. And we've got, this is one of the things that we did early on, was to set up to hook it up with MailChimp and set up a sign-up form. So what we want to do now, we've also done the about page, of course, which we've got linked in here. We've got the contact page. This is basically the same thing, a subscription page. So what we want to do now is first we sign in, and you always sign in by going whatever your domain name is and then wp-admin. I've gone straight in because I was already signed in anyway, okay, so it's taken me straight in. And then if you have a look down on the left here, you just click on the plugins, and you can see there's very little in this one at the moment. There's WP Forms Lite, which is the bit that's doing that contact page, okay? So let me show you, I want to show you the easiest way to install plugins. Say we wanted to install, let's say for sake of argument, we wanted to install something that did add contact forms. Then you would go to the search over this side over here, and you would type in whatever you wanted. And it will start to bring you up, oh, it's bringing up the ones that I've already got. I didn't know it worked that way, actually. Let's say, oh no, sorry, let's go add new. Add new and then go to the search, sorry, that's why. So I'll go contact form. So you can put in anything you want in here. Contact form 7, I think someone does use, one of the Threads members use, so that will do it. And they all have, always look at these reviews. Look at ones for, come on then, let's see if I can pick you up without you clawing the mic. Always look at the number of reviews and the number of stars. You basically, it's like anything, just like Amazon, you want the highest number of reviews and the most number of stars. Any number of, this is quite what I've used that before, any number of plugins will come up. If you went here and you put in gallery, it'll bring you a load of gallery things up. Now this one I already use on my site, and I'll show you that one working in a little while. NextGen is supposed to be a good one. Foo Gallery is also supposed to be good. I don't know about that one. Doesn't have any reviews. This I installed because it's got so many reviews and it's got a good rating. That one too is going to be a safe bet. And this one, 1,000 reviews and 5 stars, that's the one I'm going to show you how to use. And there's a free and a paid version of that. Speaking of which, what happens when you use this search? This is one way that you can install plugins, okay? What happens when you use this search is, this search is a repository on the WordPress.org site of free, but it only searches free plugins. So if someone produces a free version of their plugin, or their plugin is completely free, it will appear in this search. But what you need to understand is if you search from within WordPress like this, some of your options will be limited. If you're willing to pay, like, you know, say $10 a month for a really high-end plugin, or, you know, $10 a year perhaps for some plugin that will work very well but is fairly cheap, it's not going to show in this list. So the best way to find that is to go to Google, obviously, and you could just go WordPress gallery plugin, and obviously you're going to get loads and loads of sites telling you which are the best ones. You know, this site here, WP Beginner, is a good site. I pretty much trust their reviews. They're always worth looking at. But you will get a load of different sites, and not all of these will be good, but you will find everything here on Google that you won't find just by searching here. But let's say, for sake of argument, that I want to put one of these in. I'll stick Envira in. Then you just click Install Now. It really is as simple as this. And it's installed. So if I then go back to my plugins, my main plugins page, here it is, Envira Gallery Lite, and this is the free version. But I'm not going to do anything with that one straight away, okay? There's a couple of things I want to show you first. Now this one, WP Forms Lite, you can do a search inside. So let's say you were, before I go into that actually, let's say you're in here, plugins, add new, and you wanted to add that plugin for contact forms. You would just go WP Forms, and it should come up here. Contact form by WP Forms. This is the one. It's got, you know, ridiculous amounts of reviews, and it's still 5-star, which is pretty amazing. I've already got that in, so it's showing up that I've already got it in there. So once you've got them in there, you can go to the plugins you've got installed. And they usually have, not always, but if there's anything that you need to set up, it will always be in here. So you go into the settings part of it. This gives you loads of different options. I think I went through these in a lot of detail earlier, you know, and you will have a bunch of menus, settings. So that's the easy way to install something, okay? So let's say, for sake of argument, that I hadn't installed Envira Lite that way. I'm just going to remove that plugin. The other way to do it is to upload a zip file. Now the way you do that is if you go to the, not that page, if you go to, this is the Envira Gallery page. So you can download Envira Gallery Lite, which I've already done here. Just click the download button. Let me stick that URL in the chat for you. So click that download and it will come down. It will download to wherever things download on your computer, okay? So if I'm back in here to add a plugin, the other way you can do it is after you've downloaded one, and this is how it works when you buy a plugin. It will download a file, and then you click Upload Plugin, and it will say Choose File. So you navigate to wherever it is. Mine's going to be in Downloads. Where's Envira? Oh, these are alphabetical. Envira Gallery Lite, there it is, okay. So I'll just click that and open it. And basically the same thing we'll do. It's selected it now for upload, so I just go Install Now. Either way is pretty easy. So if I go back to my plugins page, it's basically the same. I've got that plugin back. So it's the same plugin. I've just uploaded it by 2 different means. So those are the two ways that you can get plugins into your site. So if you ever get a bit confused, if you're in the search within WordPress and you can't find a plugin that you know is out there, it's probably because it's a paid one and it's not in the WordPress repository, the WordPress library of approved plugins, because only free plugins can make it in there, you know. So what did I want to talk? So WP Forms is that. So that shows you how to put them in, okay. So for WP Forms, if you go into installed, oh, that's the wrong site, sorry, that's my site. Go into the settings for this. This is where you would I think I've just been through this. This is where you would do all the basic settings that you want to do, and then you need to remember to save them before you actually before the changes will show on your site. This is really useful stuff, being able to put in different captures and that kind of thing. Really, I think this is I mean, Contact Form 7 is really good, but I think this is, it is slightly more flexible and it's easier to use. So I would definitely, if you haven't already got a contact page on your site, that's a really, really good place to put it. A contact form. So I'm going to go straight onto the gallery bit now. So for Enviro Gallery Lite at the moment, it's not activated. You see that? These have a deactivate link next to them. So they are already activated and they're already being used. These two came with SiteGround and that one I've already added. So once you've got it installed, you have to activate it. Please feel free, by the way, if you want to ask me any questions you might have about any of this. And you notice this link has now changed. I've got the deactivate link. I've got this add-ons now. This will probably be where they try to upsell you to the full one. Oh, they want your email address, and we know all about that, right? So they can market to you. So all of this stuff, I think these are, you've got to upgrade, right? So you've got to go for one of the paid ones. Now the paid versions, look, they always do this. This is the most popular one. They want you to buy this one, okay? This one is mostly there to get you to buy this one, because you think, well, that one's really expensive, but this one doesn't seem so expensive against that one. And this is a yearly fee because you get 1 year of support. So you would have to buy this. I think you could keep the plugin running, but you wouldn't get updates after you'd installed it. So if you wanted to use this, if you wanted to get the paid one, you would probably find that this one is fine. And $30 isn't too bad for a whole year, you know. But to get support and to get updates, and you really do need to, you want to keep your plugins up to date, then you would have to pay for that. But not for the free one. But before I go too far into that, I want to show you a really simple way to set up galleries on your site without using any plugins at all. So the first thing you need is in your media library, you need a bunch of pictures. Now these are all photos from my own site, of my own paintings that I've uploaded here, so I can show you how to make a gallery with them. Already optimized and already about the right size, okay? So if you want to make a gallery, the simplest way to do it without using any plugins, without using anything at all. You're not clawing the mic, are you, kitten? No. The simplest way to do it is this. First, you want a page, okay? So I'll create a new page. This is the page that's going to hold the gallery. I'll call it my work. And in here, this is where you want to put your galleries. So you see this little plus that comes up here. You just click that. This is the new version of WordPress. It used to be simpler than this before. So you could put text in there, you can put an image, or you can put a gallery. Oh, look at that already. Enviro Gallery is saying you can put an Enviro Gallery in. But we'll just, that wouldn't show if I didn't have the plugin. So we'll just go with the default one. Okay. So it says drag images, upload new ones, or select files from your library. So let's go into the media library, the easiest way to do it. And you can just select them. And you see how the tick stays on all of them? So let's stick all of those in. Create a new gallery. It shows you at the bottom here all the ones that you've selected to go in. Bungs them, puts them all together like that, makes a gallery, and then you have to click this Insert Gallery before they appear. Now, one thing you'll notice about this is these are all kind of cropped. The reason that this one is really big at the end is because I've got 3 columns and I've got 10 pictures. So if I had 2 columns, I would probably end up with 5 in each column, right? Yeah. It automatically resizes them, but what you notice is that they're all the same size. So it's fairly simple, okay? But for each of these, you can click on it and you can write a little caption there. This painting was called Roadside Roses. And I can actually put a link in there if I want to. So I could link to, if I had a blog post about that, I could link to it in there as well. So you can do an awful lot with this, you know. And you can also say what you want to link to. Now you can link to either the attachment page. Now what that will do is it'll link off to a page on your site that shows just that image, or you can link just to the file. So let's keep it like that. I'm going to publish the gallery. Okay, but before we can see it, we've got this page. Okay, so if I go back to all pages, you can see the My Work page here, okay? But if we look at the site, there's no way to navigate to it, you know, so we have to add it to the menu here, okay? So if I go into Appearance Menus, just tell me, by the way, pop any comments or questions in and let me know if I'm going a bit too fast with this as well. I'll pop back to the comments every now and again to have a quick look. And here is our main menu, okay? So what you'll find is here, all of the pages that you've made will show up in a list over here. So I just have to click that and then add to menu, and it will automatically pop in. How easy could that be? And it takes the page title and it sticks it in there as the link. So if you have a really long page title, that will become the link, but you can also edit what's there. My paintings, just to show you that you can do this, you know. Save the menu. And then if I go back to the site, here it is now, is our gallery page. It's made these small because these are, it's actually put them all, interestingly, it's changed these around because they're landscape. This one, it's cropped fairly viciously, and that one's cropped as well. That one's not cropped. So this is why there are plugins to help you do this, because they add functionality, because this doesn't really work all that great. You know, so I've got my little thing in it. If you can see that there's the little finger there, the little hand. So I can see that this one is a link. And if I click on it, it opens up a blown up one there. And I can even zoom right into the full size of the thing. But if I want to go back to the gallery now, I have to click the back button. So it's actually taken me off to a different URL, which is not necessarily ideal. What it can't do is throw one up in a little pop-up. You know, it won't do that. But that's the quickest and easiest way. If you want a really simple way to get a gallery on your site, you can do it that way. Okay. By the way, with the menus, you can change the order really easily by just pulling them around. Let's say I want contact us at the end. Go back to the site, and if I refresh the page now, the order of these should turn around. Did it do it or not? Oh, I forgot to save the menu. Every time you do make a change, save the menu. Note to self. Now they'll switch around. Now they should switch around. Come on. We'll put paintings right at the top. Yeah, so now paintings is the first one here. Okay. So that's a fairly good and easy, simple way to add a gallery to your site. But what about if you wanted to, let's make it, I'm going to make another page. And I'm going to give this one a different title just to differentiate it from the other one. Okay, so this one is also going to be a gallery. And let's try, this time we're going to try using the Enviro one. So it's come up anyway, so let's just click it and see. Search for a gallery. And there's nothing there, so I think what that must mean is we presumably need to go into here and via a gallery. I haven't actually used this plugin before, so I'm figuring it out as I go. And there's an add new. So we got to, I'm guessing we have to make a new gallery in here. Looks like it. So we'll call it I'm going to call it recent paintings, just so I can tell where this shows up. If I make everything a little bit different, I'll be able to see where it's showing up. And it's the same here. Select files from your computer, drop files here. Select files from other sources. You would think that you would be able to just chuck them in from your media library, though. How do you do that? That's interesting. Oh, an Instagram gallery. That looks great. Create dynamic galleries with Enviro and Instagram. So presumably you can, you have to upgrade for that, but you can hook into your Instagram feed and stick a gallery straight on there. This is very odd. Oh, select files from other sources. And that gives me the media file. So this will probably work the same way, yeah. So this is, oh no, it won't. I have to do them one at a time. Look, if I click on another one, then that one becomes deselected. One selected. How can I select more than one? Let's try pressing Shift. Yeah, I have to press Shift in here and then click each one for a multiple selection. So it's all basically the same ones. Insert into gallery. Oh, that looks all right. And then I've got some editing functions here as well. Right, that's the URL of the file I'm linking to. I can decide, this is the same, I can decide if I want to link to the media file or the attachment page. Open a new URL in the window. Now that's quite nice. So let's say I'm going to link it to the media file, and it's going to open a new browser window or tab, which means that once I've opened that, it will still, the gallery will still be there behind it. And presumably this will go through the various images, and yeah, that's quite nice. I'm just going to do one of them for now. And this is free, remember, this is the free version of this. Lots of lots of attempts to make me go for the upgrade here. This, hopefully, what I'm hoping for here, I've got a bunch of menu items down here. What I'm hoping for is a responsive gallery, okay? And I also want it to do that window tiling thing. So let's see what my options are here. Number of gallery columns, we'll keep that automatic. Not sure what that is. Lazy loading, automatic layout, row height, image size default, image dimensions. I'm not going to play with any of those at the moment. Let's just see. Lightbox. So enable lightbox. Enables or disables the gallery lightbox. So this, a lightbox is when you click on it, it will usually throw up a new click here to upgrade. Looks like I can do that though. Oh dear. Mobile specific settings. Now that's really useful. I reckon about half of the site, but the traffic on my site is mobile. So I'm actually tempted to use this myself. You can put videos in there. pagination if I want, so that's if it goes across multiple pages. But what I really want, oh, let's give it a title, because I think it's going to need this to pick it up from the drop-down list. What I want though really is I want to make sure that it does it in a lightbox, not in a lightbox, in a like a tiled thing like Google's Images does. Maybe it does. We'll hit publish anyway and we'll see what happens. So we've made a gallery called Recent Paintings. Okay. And this is interesting. Look, it says you can place it anywhere in your posted pages by using, so you can copy that and you can actually stick it anywhere in the middle of a post or in its own page, however you want to do it. But we ought to be able to do it as we were looking at it before. If I can get back to that page. My paintings, let's go in here and edit this again. See if it shows up here now. Recent paintings, there it is. And in it goes. Now what it appears to be doing is, that's a bit of a strange layout. I'm not sure how this is going to show up. See if I've got some, no, they're not terribly useful. Let's click on it, looks like I might have some options here. No, it's just saying it's an Enviro gallery. Select layout, automatic. 1 column, 2 columns, 3. This is quite nice. I'll leave that on automatic, see what it does. Margins, that's nice. Enable lightbox, yes. Select lightbox theme. Don't think we can do much about that. Let's see what our advanced options are. Oh, just adding CSS classes. I wouldn't worry about that. Okay, let's try it and see how this comes out. View the page. Oh, it's done it. That's actually really nice. So I think I could set the default row height, or I could set a default column width, and it would change how it lays out. It's way nicer. And if I click on it, we get a lightbox. So I think if you disabled the lightbox, you could get it to link to something else like a post. This is just the, that's the title of the image it's bringing up there, which I use my own ones internally so that they make sense to me. This is lovely. I mean, for a free gallery, you can see, I think, how much extra this is giving you and how professional it looks. This is just straight out of the box as well. How much more professional it looks than the default WordPress one. These are coming up the size that I originally made the images. Okay, so I think personally, my feeling is that that was extremely, oh sorry, the camera's gone very dark. Let me just, the light must be dropping. I'll just bring the exposure of the camera up a bit. I always have them set because I don't like the way it flicks around. If you leave the exposure on automatic for when I'm doing paintings, it doesn't work, you know. Is that better? Yeah, you can see me better now. So any questions about any of that? Does that make sense to you? It's, I would say, of the two, the technically the easiest way to do it is just using the default WordPress capability for adding a gallery to a page. But the other way of doing it was way, way nicer with the Enviro Lite. And that's so nice, I'm actually tempted to use it myself. But let me show you, I want to show you quickly another page on my own site where I have something similar, although I don't think it looks as nice, so I think probably I'm going to change it for that one. So this is an old page from a project I did a long time ago, and this is using a plugin called Photo Gallery, and it basically works exactly the same way. You create a gallery, it's down here, So you basically do the same thing. Add galleries, so you can make a new gallery here. The architecture of this, the way it works, is almost the same as the other one. So just do add new. It uses the built-in WordPress kind of architecture to build it. And then I could do various settings. I can go in there. So this is the one that I've got embedded in that page. Actually, funnily enough, this is looking quite clinky to me, quite clunky. I mean, compared to the way that I just did it with Enviro, I would say Enviro is a lot nicer. And you can drag these around and move them, but it's a bit of a mess about, you know, frankly. But you do have a lot of options. And this is, as I said, this is Photo Gallery by WP10. It's a good plugin, but having just seen how Enviro works, I'd be more inclined to go with that. The nice thing about this is I've set this up to deep link through, because each time I did a drawing, I made a blog post for it. And each of them goes through to that blog post. So some of them are quite short like that. Unfortunately, it's slow loading actually. Unfortunately, I no longer link to this page on my site anymore. So I should really sort that out. So this one, for instance, I wrote a long blog post about how I put this drawing together with step-by-step images. You see, this is way a long time ago, and I was using the same version of a version of the method I use now a lot. Okay, but you can do that evidently with Enviro quite easily as well. But I think for deep linking, that's what they call deep linking. And look at this. Seems to me, here, look, deep linking. So you can only do that in the most popular Pro version, which is $99 a year. So if you think that it's worth it for you to be spending about $8 a month, in order to, you know, $99 for a year's subscription, then you can do that. You can have that deep linking thing that I just showed you there. So you can link through from your gallery through to blog posts. That's something I do quite a lot. So I'm probably going to go for that. I will probably buy it, I think. It would definitely be worth it for me. I just realized I forgot to go back onto the screen share for that. Oh no, I was on it, wasn't I? Phew. I'm confusing myself a little bit there. So hopefully that's kind of fairly clear. Where do you write the size of the painting? You could do that when you're looking in the gallery itself. You can click on each one when you're in the back end, when you're editing, and you can write a bunch of stuff there. So you can change the name of it. And there you would also be able to write in 5x7 or whatever size it is. And you can also write in sold, or you could write in, you know, contact for more info. And then you could make the contact thing for more info a link. And that could link to your contact page, which would work quite nicely if anybody wanted to get in touch with you to buy one of your paintings. It's given me a few ideas, that actually. This is stuff that I don't play with much these days. So that's how, personally, that's how I would do it. I think I'm actually very tempted to change over from the photo gallery plugin that I've been using and go now to I'll probably go for the full priced Enviro one. But I'll have to put aside a day to remake the gallery, and I don't know, who has time for this stuff? But that's really useful, I think. So I don't want to burden you with too much stuff here. We covered adding the contact form, and we've covered adding a gallery. There's one more thing I want to show you, one more plugin, and I think it's a really, really useful one. So I'm going to show you how to use it. So I'm going to add it to the Threads demonstration site. Let me go back onto screen share again. So let's go into plugins again, and I'm going to add new. Now this one is going to, it's extremely useful for when you're posting a blog post on Facebook and you want it to automatically link straight back. You want the image, the thumbnail, to link back to your site, and you want a nice pretty thumbnail, and it's called Open Graph. Hopefully it will come up just from that. Open Graph, no, because it's Open Graph for Twitter, blah, 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 blah. There's quite a few of them, obviously, from looking at this. I think it's called Open Graph for Tags Open Graph 4. I might have to check my own site to see. Surprised it's not coming up. Let's check my own site. While we're in here, actually, I'll show you quickly the ones that I have set up as well. This is just for embedding videos. This is really handy if you do videos, so you can just bang the URL in and it automatically resizes it. Backup Buddy is a paid plugin, but it automatically takes regular backups of your site and stores them in a Dropbox account. ConvertKit you know about. This Galleries by Angie Makes is nice, but not working anymore. So let's find this Open Graph thing. I'm using Gravity Forms for my forms, which is another paid one, but it's a bit more full-featured. Where's Open Graph? Open Graph for Facebook, Google+. I think this one is free. Where am I? Oh, here, yeah. Here it is, this one. 100, it's got 4 out of 5 and 100 reviews. So I'll install that. This is the simple way of installing a plugin. I'll activate it. And then what happens then, if I go back to the posts and I go into edit the post, I should have a new thing. And here it is, Open Graph. This is the thing here. So it gives you the recommended size, 1200 by 630, and that's because Facebook likes that size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload, you need to make an image in Photoshop or whatever image software you use that's that size, 1200 pixels wide by 630 high. Now I always make those for each of my posts anyway, so I will have one that's the right size, rather than subjecting you to watching me create the image. Let's say this one will have one. And I usually give them, in the file name, I usually give them a little prefix OG. See, I called that OG, which means Open Graph. So this is a picture of the painting taken on my shelf. And the size, it should tell me here, is 1200 by 630. See that? And the resolution is 72 dots per inch. So that is perfect, okay? So it's gone up into my image library, my media library, and then I just go use this image, and then it shows there. So if I update this post now, all of this stuff is easy to use once you get used to it. It can be really complicated at first. It doesn't show anywhere here, okay? But if I go to Facebook, I've copied the URL there of the post. If I go to Facebook, let's go to my own. I don't want this to show up. I don't actually, I'm going to post it so you can see now. If this works right, I should be able to just post that in. It doesn't always work, so it hasn't pulled the image, okay? If that doesn't work, what you need to do is open a new tab, do a Google search for Facebook debugger. I have to do this probably about half of the time, I would say at least, and it will come up here, debugger for Facebook developers. It will come up at the top, go through to that page, and it says enter a URL, okay? So that's the URL of the page we just had, and then click debug. Sometimes this is enough. Now it's showing it, okay? It's pulled it up the image, so it knows the image is there, but it's not showing here, okay? So I would close that, refresh the page to get rid of it. Yes, I do want to reload. I need to get rid of that post. and remake it. Only me, okay. Now hopefully it should pull it. Fetching preview, see that? There we go. So it's automatically pulled that image in, right? And if I share that, it appears in my feed like this. Isn't that nice? It's pulled the title of the post and it's also pulled that image. And if I click on it, it takes me straight through to the post on the site. That is the best way to get people from Facebook over to your site. And of course, once they're on your site, then you have an opportunity to show them your subscription form and to get them to sign up. Okay. So I think in terms of plugins, you want down now? It's probably best. Yeah, go on, big lad. In terms of plugins, I think I'm probably gonna leave it there for now because I don't want to. We're up to coming up to about an hour anyway, and I don't want to throw too much stuff at you at once. Carlene says, let me go back up and check a couple. Olaf says, for me as a beginner, I'll take the free one at first. Yeah, play with the free one first, see how you find it. And then if you put Envira in, it will make more sense to you and it will be easier to use. But you can have a play around with all of that stuff, you know, preview the page before you make it public. And you don't actually, you can make the page public until you link it from anywhere in a menu, no one will ever see it anyway. So you can play around with that stuff to your heart's content, make it live. It's not until you actually link it into your site or give someone the URL of the page that anyone will see it. Someone says they're inclined to use Envira. I'm inclined to use Envira. Yeah, I was surprised how easy that was to set up. That's presumably why it's the most popular one out there. What's the difference between this contact form and the one we did in the webinar on WordPress at the beginning of the course? Nothing, I don't think. It's the same plugin. I use a slightly different one, which is a paid one called Gravity Forms, which gives you a bit more leeway. But that's basically exactly the same contact form that I did in that first webinar when we were setting up the WordPress site, or second one, or whatever it was. It's exactly the same. I was just going over it quickly, which is why I didn't go into it in detail and set it up. Marilyn says, terrific, looks fun. Yeah, your site would look great with a nice Envira gallery on there. Helga, yeah, I'm glad you found that useful. Okay, so listen, if there's anything else you think you might want to change in terms of functionality on your site, bung it in the threads group, and I'll see if I can find, I guarantee you I will be able to find a plugin that will do it for you. One thing I did want to show you quickly before we go. I haven't played with this, so I'm not going to install it and show you how it works right now. But someone was asking me, sorry, I forget who it was now, how you can what's this? Oh, this is another gallery, I think. Oh, it's an interesting post, actually. Free WordPress gallery plugins. I'll just pop that in the chat. I'll pop the link in the chat so you can have a look at that page if you want. Oh, I missed a question from Carlene. Can I link to an auction page for the photo in Envira? Yes, you absolutely can. So because you can, let me go back into that a second. Say this one here. Oh, that's the actual page, not the gallery. I wanted the edit. Which one's that? Is that the one? Is that the Envira one? Yeah. Let's go in there and edit this. So there ought to be a place where I can... No, let me edit this particular one. Oh, maybe I have to do it in the gallery itself. I probably have to go actually into this and edit it. Yeah, I do, I think. Yeah, so here it is. So if I click on that there, should give me some options for editing. If I click that little blue pencil thing, that's like the generic editing thing. Yeah, URL. So that's what it links to at the moment, okay? So in fact, deep linking does come out of the box, because let me show you how I could link that to a post. I'm pretty sure this will work. It would probably open it in a new window. And I may need to turn off the lightbox to do it. But let's see. This is probably a little bit of kind of a kludge. So there's the post. Have I got the post up anyway? Here. Here's the URL of the post. So let's try that. Open in a new window. Yeah, we'll keep that. I know. What is it, big man? You want down and then you want up. Let's just see what happens. So that should be saved. I wonder if I need to save. Let's update the gallery. Refresh the page. So this hopefully should link to the blog post now. Yeah. So you could do that, except you could do it just like you make an auction. You know how you embed an auction, how I showed you to do it in the webinar on setting up auctions. So you can actually deep link. You don't need to, this thing here is a bit misleading where it says you need deep linking for that, because you can actually do it with the free version. There you go. We found an easy way around it. So I managed to link right straight through to the blog post. And it opened it in a new window as well. So it opened up the blog post. So that this could just as easily have been the URL of a page. Is that clear? Does that make sense, Carleen? Hopefully that's explained it for you, and I didn't go through that too quickly. So yeah, you actually can link directly to an auction. So you would always embed the auction in a page, and then you can take the URL of the page that you have the auction embedded in, and you can just drop that in. Just go into the gallery in Envira, the separate gallery, click on that little blue pencil thing to edit the image you want to edit, and then stick the URL in there, and it overrides the lightbox, and it will automatically take you off to the page with the auction in it. That's nice. Or you could also you could have it click through to a page that you set up about that painting, you know, with a little bit of a story about why you made it, the price, and a contact form embedded on that page to say, get in touch with me if you're interested in this painting. That would also be a nice way to do it. All of these things, once you know the basic way to get around WordPress, this is why I love it so much. The only limit really to what you can do is how you can imagine that you can bolt the different parts together to make them work in a way that's going to do what you want, you know. So yes, you absolutely can do that. Okay, was there anything else I was going to show you? We've done Facebook Open Graph. Yeah, I think that's it for now. There are some kind of SEO ones, but I'm going to do a separate webinar on SEO and generating traffic in general, I think. So we'll cover that another day. I think we're coming up to about an hour now, so that gives you hopefully plenty of stuff to play with. And the most common question, how do I get a gallery into my site, has hopefully been answered there. So I hope that was informative. If you've got any questions about any of it that you think of later, just pop it in the Threads group. And thanks for coming. And I'll see you again soon.